this is my second or first video, depending on what order I upload these in. So this is going to be a quick tutorial recipe, whatever, on making some crackle cookies, and I love crackle cookies. Crackle cookies are really yummy chocolate balls cookies that do really good, kind of cakey like texture, not more like brownies. Anyway, so I guess we could just get started really quick. It's pretty simple. I think most recipes are pretty simple as long as you follow the whole recipe. It calls for a cup of flour. Usually I weigh my flour, but I'm not terribly worried right now. A cup of flour. You're going to need a cup of sugar. Lid's mixed up, or I'll end up with a really gross coffee in the morning. You are going to need your cocoa. I have this. It was a gift. It's baking cocoa, obviously, duh. But you can use Dutch process. You can use whatever you want, but make sure it's unsweetened. And you're going to need a half a cup of that. So. And this is something I have to sift because cocoa powder always tends to clump up. If you like my sifter, I broke it a while back and I had to take it because I don't have money to get another one. But hey, it still works, right? And as long as I don't put too much pressure on it, it doesn't bend. So anyway, you want to sift your half a cup of cocoa powder. You don't want, well, I guess it really wouldn't matter if you had too many lumps in this recipe. And you end up with these lumps in here that you can just press through. And if they're hard, don't press them through. A teaspoon of baking powder and half a teaspoon of salt. But I don't usually measure my salt, I just kind of ground some in there and call it good. And then you want to take 4 tablespoons of room temperature butter. Oh, that's beautiful. And you want to mix all this together. Okay, so that's pretty okay together. And then you want to take 2 eggs that are just a little bit beaten together on their own. And then add those and the vanilla. And I'm not going to measure my vanilla. I don't care. Because you know what? If you add just a little bit too much vanilla, it's not like anybody's going to be like, how dare you add extra vanilla into this recipe? I don't like vanilla. I don't like tasting vanilla if you like baked goods. It's just, okay. Anyway, so you want to mix all that together. And it's going to become this really thick dough. I'm going to use this spatula to scrape off my spoon. If you don't have that, you can use a butter knife or a spoon or a bowl. Doesn't really matter. Work out your arms, that's for sure. I suppose you could do this in a mixer, but I don't want to get my mixer dirty because I'm just so lazy right now. Anyway, so there we go. It's in one ball, and I'll show you in just a second. To get everything off this spoon. Good enough for me. So, it's all relatively in one thing. What you want to do is pop this in the fridge for about 10-15 minutes. You want to get it firmed up so you can make some balls out of it. And I will be back in about 10 minutes to show you what that's like. Oh, cover it. Duh, cover it. Saran wrap. Stick to yourself. Not anything else. whatever. Okay, so while I clean up, maybe I'll try and talk about something. Maybe this one I'll talk about why baking is important to me, and then the next one I'll talk about why toasting is important to me. So in baking, it's really funny because it wasn't a huge thing in my family. It wasn't like my grandma baked and my mom baked. Though they did, it wasn't anything like this. And my grandma could decorate cakes really well, but it wasn't a huge deal in my house. It wasn't like it was the most important thing to them. I didn't learn baking from any of them. I think I learned a couple of recipes from my grandmother. I learned a couple of recipes from my mother. But really, I learned to bake everything that I've learned to bake on my own, aside from the family recipes. And I have a lot of hobbies. I craft so much stuff. I sew, I knit, I crochet, I latch hook, I cross stitch, I use polymer clay, I paper mache, I paint, I sculpt, I decorate things. And though I go through phases of what I want to do, what I'm in love with and out of love with, baking is something that's been a permanent in my life since, gosh, I want to say that I started baking a couple months after I moved in with my kids' father. Yeah, and I don't know if it was a coping mechanism or whatever with the stress of, trying to move out on your own. I don't know if it was an outlet for me at that point. I just know that it was something that was very important to me. And I know I'm not an expert on baking. I do, however, think that I know quite a bit about baking. I know why you use certain ingredients, what they do, what you can replace them with, and why they do what they do. Now I'm not special in any way. I watch a lot of cooking shows. I read a lot of cooking books, cookbooks, cooking books, and I find it just fascinating. I can't stop watching a show like Good Eats, right? It goes completely into the science of why baking is, or cooking is. I enjoy cooking too. So what happens in the molecular structure? What happens with the mechanical properties, with the chemical properties, with what have you? And I find it so fascinating, and I can't explain exactly why I'm drawn to it. Don't get me wrong, I'm drawn to a lot of different kinds of television. I really like crime. I really like horror. I really like, as far as movies go, Japanese horror is my favorite. But as far as television shows go, you give me any kind of cooking show, Iron Chef, Master Chef, Kitchen Nightmares, those are my guilty pleasures. Those are the reality television shows that I enjoy. And I can get just so drawn into them, and especially when they're baking, and I go, I want to make that. I can't even explain. It's a weird drive that I have. I can't not bake. I feel weird if I'm not in the kitchen baking. I mean, not constantly, of course, but had I not baked something in a day, it would be weird for me. While I was going on my trip, I was gone for 5 days, and I didn't bake the day before. No, I baked the day before, but just some peanut butter cookies. And then I didn't bake until 2 days after I got back, and it was weird. I always miss baking. Honestly, if I could just be, I don't want to be a famous baker. I don't want to have I don't want that kind of pressure. Are you kidding me? I just want to enjoy my work. I want to be that faceless baker in the back that, you go to the corner deli and you pick up that dozen donuts or those croissants or those cookies, and they're good, and you like them, and you always buy them there, but it's not something you advertise about. It's not something you're, I don't want that. I just want to be that person. I want to be in the back. Not necessarily faceless. I'd like people to, know who's making their food, but I don't want to be this big famous person. I just want to do what I love. And I love baking. And though I love portioning, right? I do. It's very enjoyable for me. I can go without a corset. I can. It's especially now since it's been so long. Prior it would have been odd without my corset, but not nearly as odd as me not baking. I'm surprised that I never brought it up, or at least I didn't talk about it as much as I did back then, because I bake a lot. I don't know how many of you have actually seen my older video just a pretty recent older video, just a slideshow of some stuff I made. And that's not much of anything. That's just the last 9 months or so, and that's not even everything I've made. I love baking, you guys. And it's anything big. Breads and sweets and not sweets and anything I can get my hands on. I enjoy cooking too. I very much do. I love finding new recipes to find for cooking, and it's fun, and my family likes it. But it's not my passion. I don't much care about adding saffron to this to add the aroma of that, and I don't care about that nearly as much as I care about I'm going to substitute almond extract for this because I would like it to have this flavor, and I want it to act this way. I want to add no baking powder because I don't want my cookies to, that is, I could go on for hours if someone started talking to me about baking. And with the stress of children, the stress of a relationship that have children, that has a lot of the problems that we have as people in general, and then as our relationship as a whole, it's really my only big outlet. It's the only place where I can just let go. And I mean, I've tried meditation, I've tried yoga, I've tried everything. And even bitching to my friends doesn't help when it comes down to just needing to, let all of that out. You need something. Just let it out. And if you can't always do that with your partner. Sometimes you're pissed at your partner and you want to not be around your partner, so you do something on your own. And baking is that for me. I don't know if that matters to anybody, but that's the thing, is I don't care if it matters to anybody. It matters to me, and I enjoy it, and I want to do it for the rest of my life. So that was fun. I'll be back in just a few minutes to show you guys the dough for the cookies. Okay, and these have been chilling for about 10 to 15 minutes. I lost count. I was on YouTube. I don't know. So they've been in there for a while. And what you're going to do now is you're going to get some powdered sugar. And I'm sure you're normal people and have the normal 2-pound bag of powdered sugar. But I make a lot, so I have a little bit more. I don't have a scoop. Okay, so you're going to take probably like 4 or 5 tablespoons of powdered sugar. I'm just going to take a little scoop. Put it in a bowl to the side of your stuff. And you'll notice that's like half empty too. I use it a lot for royal icing. Anyway, so now you can take 2 spoons and just kind of make a roundish shape, dip it in, and then make it more round with your hands. But I have a cookie scoop, and so you take a cookie scoop and take it, and your hands are gonna get dirty. Okay, just deal with it. Preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. You take this and you're gonna roll it into a ball-like shape. You're gonna put it into the powdered sugar, and you're going to roll it around in the powdered sugar until it is covered in powdered sugar. Leave your powdered sugar and going. And then you're going to set it on your baking tray. Right. I forgot to break up the lumps into my powdered sugar. That's better. And then you're just going to keep doing that. Baking is about making messes, guys. Don't worry about it, okay? Food cleans up. It's pretty simple to wipe up some powdered sugar or some chocolate stuff off your hands. It's not the biggest deal to get your hands dirty. Just get your hands dirty. You'll enjoy it more. and it'll taste better. You know why? Because you're actually caring about it. Give a shit about your food won't give a shit about you. You want them all about the same size because otherwise they won't bake at the same time, and that doesn't make sense. Alright, so here's where the cool stuff happens. These little balls are going to turn into these little mounds of chocolate and powdered sugar, and they're going to look like cracked earth. They're really cool looking. I don't think this one has enough powdered sugar on it, honestly. They're really dramatic looking too, which is nice. And they're not, I mean, they're pretty sweet. Don't get me wrong, they're pretty sweet, but they're not. Think about the frosting you get from cake from, say, I don't know, any grocery store, right? Very, very sweet. And that's not what this kind is. It's sweet, but it's not. You know? So you're going to put these in the oven. And you're going to bake these for 8 to 10 minutes until they're done. And then I'll show you. Okay, so they're out of the oven now, and as you can see, they've spread out. A couple of them are touching, but that's fine. They smell fantastic. They smell like cocoa. Smells good. Anyway, you can see that they look kind of broken and cool looking. I really like these. These are fresh, so I can't move them, but they're not sticky anymore. It's kind of, you kind of have to guess. If they're a little underdone, like if you take them out exactly at 8 minutes, they might be a little underdone, but that just means that they're going to be gooey and yummy. The eggs will have gotten hot enough where any chance of anything is going to be gone. And so, yeah, I'm sorry this one didn't have much to do with corseting, but it's yummy, right? So, yeah, if you guys have anything you want to see, let me know, and I will talk to you guys later.